So hi, welcome to the stream. If you're not already aware, I do these YouTube streams every Thursday at 5:30. But I shan't be here next week. I'm having a week off. So yeah, I'm back in 2 weeks. So if you'd like to join the Zoom, you can join the Zoom by the link which I've posted in the YouTube chat. You can join that now before I start the introduction, or join after the introduction, or you can simply watch on YouTube and ask questions through the YouTube chat. Yeah. Um, let's start with the introduction then. So the title is One Without One. Yes. Yeah, One Without One. One Without One. So Non-duality. Subject of non-duality is an impossible subject, in that it's attempting to describe and speak about something that, first of all, isn't a something, isn't a thing. And second of all, it's all there is, it's everything. So right there, it's an impossible subject to talk about. Just talking about that which is and that which isn't. It's talking about everything and nothing. And so it's really impossible to talk about, really. And yet it's being spoken about. Somehow there were these words, these concepts happening. There was this flow happening of language. So yeah, it's a thing. So what non-duality is speaking of then? Is it speaking about this, whatever this is, this not being divided? That's really like the simplest like phrase or thing about non-duality is simply saying that this, whatever this isn't divided. So simple. And yet in that, the ramifications of that, the implications of that, it's like, it's so profound that this isn't divided. This life isn't divided. This appearance isn't divided. Which is amazing. 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 It's amazing that this isn't divided. And that could, if you think about like a religion or something, that would be the one line in the book. This isn't divided. The end. Like, that's it. This isn't divided. It really is the end. Full stop. This isn't divided. That's really the only thing that non-duality is saying. This isn't divided. This isn't divided. There's no separation. There's no division. This isn't divided. But it's so convincing. It's not even like it's convincing. It's just when it's seen from that position of separateness, of that illusion, when it's seen from the position of I'm someone, and then it's like, yeah, it seems divided, it seems separate. It really feels as if there is separateness. Everything is separate. And from that place, from that position, from that dream, from that reality, it feels suffering, it feels incomplete, it feels like something's missing. There's this there's this momentum, this seeking to to I suppose reach wholeness, this momentum, this seeking to reach wholeness. But from that position of seeming separateness, wholeness can only kind of be grasped or thought of as an idea, as an experience, as a form, as another thing, a thing to complete me, thing to complete me, to make me feel whole. But that doesn't work. It can't work because it's in the reality of separateness. It's in the reality of it's in the reality of this dream reality of separation, this thought-based abstract reality of separation. And so in separation, there can't be completion. There can be separateness. There can be temporary. It can be experience. So non-duality is not in that reality, it's not in that dream of separateness. It it doesn't, it just doesn't make any sense, that separateness. That separateness isn't true. That separateness isn't true. What is true? It's not even true, but what is, like it's not in thinking or in thought, is what's happening. And what's happening isn't separate. What's happening is what's happening. It doesn't belong in time. It doesn't belong in story. It's simply what's happening. So this wholeness, this is what is. This is wholeness. This is everything. It's not a separate experience, a separate reality. It's just appearing as everything. It is everything. This is everything. What is true? You have to define what the word true is before you ask what is true. I don't really know what true means. True, I suppose, means we agree with it more than we agree with it more than the other one. In duality, you have false, true, and false. So true is more. This is true. This is we agree with this one more than this one. So what is true? What is most agreed with? It depends again who you ask and where you are. It depends who you ask, where you are, what circumstance you're in. It's dependable on different factors. So in that sense, nothing is solid and definite and true. I suppose it offers some level of security and safety, knowing the truth, what the truth is. You can rest on the truth and know you're in a good position, a good place. I have the truth, I know the truth, I'm with the truth. But it's an idea, an idea. And so an idea can't be really truth, it can't be solid and fixed. An idea is an idea, a possibility. And while there's that looking for, that seeking, that looking for, there will always be uncertainty, there will always be a sense of like discomfort or not being able to rest and trying to find the truth, trying to find the answers, trying to find the right way, the right thing, the right path, the right conclusion, because you're on shaky ground. You're living as a thought. So feel free to ask any questions in the YouTube chat or on Zoom. Hi. So this is just different energies, different energies. That question. So this is just different energies. No, no. It's the same energy, if anything. It's the same energy. In fact, we get fooled by the different appearances, different flavors, the different perceptions. Fooled by the labels and the thoughts, which is saying this is different to this, or this is a leg, this is a wall, they're different. This sadness is different to this happiness. idea of time, of this moment and the next moment or the previous moment, they're different. So in painting a picture, we have the red paint and the blue paint and the green paint. So there seems to be a difference, and we need that difference for the interaction to happen. This is separate from this part of the picture. But ultimately, whatever that means, like it's all paint, it's all the same, there's no difference. There's no difference. It appears as different, but it's not different. It's unity beyond unity. It's one without one. This is the illusion that there are like two separate things. There are two separate things joined together. And this is named unity, two separate things joining together as one, as unity. But that's not true. That's the illusion of two separate things. It's not true that there are actually two separate things. This is the illusion of separation, of division. And so as the sense of being someone separate, we long for this unification with something else, whether it be a partner, whether it be whatever it is, whatever object we think is going to make us feel connected and unified and whole. But that's not true. This won't do it because this isn't separate. They aren't separate things. This is an illusion, an unfulfilling hamster wheel of seeking to try to find this unity, this wholeness as something separate. But this is the illusion of separateness. It's not true. It's not the experience. It's not how this is. It's whole, undivided. It just seems to be this dream that happens. Dream of becoming someone, of becoming separate. But it's not true. It's not true. And so this end of seeking is the same thing as the end of separation. Separation seeks. And so it's the end of that. The end of this journey in time. Does this journey in time ever end? If so, how does it end? Well, it ends by it not starting, which is it ends by it not it not starting, like this dropping of this time-bound movement, this time-bound addiction, this opening that is here, this presence that is here, that isn't in time. Isn't in time. Time appears here as a idea, as a functioning idea, as a practical idea. There's time. I'm going here tomorrow. It's Christmas on Sunday. It's practical idea. But it's appearing here in this that is timeless, in this that knows not time, in this that only knows this that can only be this that can't move anywhere, this that can't not be. So it's a bit paradoxical that, but it ends by not starting. It never started. So this appearance or bodily experience I'm currently having will always be there, correct? Appearance of bodily experience. I mean, is it even, you say you're currently having this bodily experience, but is that even true? Like, that's felt to be a certainty that that's happening. And therefore you're saying, well, it will always be here in the future, but is it actually here right now? Are you certain on that?
I can feel it.
You can feel, what can you feel?
Body experience, looking around, perceptions.
So there's perceptions, there's bodily sensations.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're saying, will those perceptions and sensations then, will they always be here?
Yeah.
But are they always here now? So, you know, let's say, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, are they constantly there, the perception and the bodily sensations?
I feel like when I'm awake, I'm always feeling something is always going on.
Something's always happening.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm part of that. I can feel, touch,
Yeah.
um,
And
think.
yeah. And it feels like you are someone in the center of that. So you're touching, you're feeling, you're thinking, like you're in the center. It's happening to you.
Yeah, I feel it strongly.
Yeah.
Even though I have been exposed to this message for many years, and conceptually, intellectually, I can really understand that there is a difference, right? That it's this um I can't find myself, that whole thing. I've gone through the self-inquiry process and it didn't work for me. But
Yeah.
when I inter conceptualize all that, I can see I don't understand anything, but I still feel strongly that I'm part of this experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that understanding has not helped me at all.
No.
And I just wanted to see if you have anything to share regarding that understanding and this liberation and freedom that you talk about.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great to hear that, this understanding of this. You've learned it, you've heard it, you understand it conceptually, intellectually, you're familiar with the concepts, with the idea that this is whole, that there's not a separate person or separate anything. But it feels as if there is. It feels as if you are separate, you are someone separate, and you have a limitation. And you are moving through life. So are you asking like what can help that?
Yeah, I guess I'm looking for help. I guess I'm asking because I know I've listened to your messages many times, and other non-duality speakers as well. And I've heard also the word, this is not about understanding, is unknowing, is about not knowing. So I've heard all those things, but like I said, maybe I'm just too heavily intellectual in terms of trying to understand, conceptualizing things. But I guess my question to you is, should I just forget about all this understanding, all this effort I'm trying to make to understand?
Yeah, if
Uh,
you could do that, that would be so good, but you can't even do that. If you could forget about it all and just leave it and move on with your life, then great, but that's not possible. Like you don't even have that choice to not think about it or watch a video about it or whatever it is, think about it. Like there's no choice in that. There's no one that could choose not to do that as well. So
yeah, and that too, I've heard you say that before.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
there's
It's,
no
it's a
choice
real it's a
here.
real pickle. It's a real pickle for that chooser that wants to pick and be in charge of what happens, what doesn't happen. It's a real pickle. Yeah, you can't do
This
right
is
for doing wrong.
it almost feels like a
Yeah,
it almost feels like a trap.
yeah, yeah,
Like I
yeah,
don't know what to do.
yeah, yeah. And yet, maybe you don't feel this, but yeah, at the same time, it's so beautiful because that
Yes.
position isn't true. That position of I'm here, I don't know what to do, I have a choice, I don't know what to do, I'm stuck. That's not actually true. That's not true.
Something in me knows that deeply that
Yeah,
that's not true.
of course.
That's why I keep coming to this message. It's been years I've been following this message,
Yeah,
and I love it. I love
yeah,
it. I love it so
yeah,
much. Even though I really do, even though I
yeah,
go through a lot of challenges in life and family issues and work related problems, and
yeah,
but whenever I take a moment to stop and just think about this message, it just brings me joy. It does, even in the middle of all problems. But
yeah.
again, maybe it's just being human. I still look for something more. Having said all this, that it's a beautiful message. I love it. For some reason, there's some part of me also that says there's something else, something more I need to get to complete everything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's such a strong addiction, a strong idea. Such a strong idea until it isn't, but it's such a strong idea. Yeah, that there's someone here, that there's something here that needs to be completed or achieved or attained. That momentum of that movement, that movement in time, trying to get out of this, trying to be someone, trying to get somewhere, trying to maintain that story of someone.
Addiction sounds like a good word for it.
Mm.
Addiction. because it's almost like a pool. I
Yeah,
get pulled
yeah,
into it, and whenever maybe I get lucky or whatever force is going on, I get pulled out of it again. I feel relieved, when I think about the beautiful non-duality message. I feel I get that sense of relief, but then it
yeah,
doesn't last long. The addiction kicks in again,
yeah,
especially dealing with people. I find relationships and all that. It makes it even stronger. The sense
yeah,
of
yeah.
And I struggle with always when I should talk or not.
I'll just talk to Mohammed, and then I'll let you know, and you can unmute and you can speak. Yeah, it's like in relationship is where there's that conditioned expectation to interact as someone, to be someone. I don't know if that's what's caused that, or not caused it, but as a child, that like strengthening of that, you have to be someone and relate to this other human that's appearing. Like it's a strong it's a strong, what's the word? I don't know, like a strong conditioning or something, or a strong hook to identify in relationship, because it's seemingly there is another human, and seemingly there's a human here, and so there's that like yeah, expectation is probably a good word. Expectation to respond as a person, to believe that you are someone in relationship to somebody else. And in society, like you need to have that. You need to, it's the way society is, like, yeah, the way society is currently, this separate, this pretense of separation, and so we're conditioned into that. And so this waking up out of that, which isn't really that big thing in a way, it's like going back to just the actual experience, this free flow of expression, of interaction, this naturalness of interaction.
is society making it worse?
I don't know about that. I don't know about, I don't know. I don't know. And I don't think so. Possibly, but I don't think that's not really what I'm trying to say. Um, like it's not really true. Like I feel like waking up is the primary thing. Forget about out there, the other societies. Waking up is the primary thing. Once that is seen through, then the out there and the others, it's not really relevant. It's not really It's not the way we think it is. Like there isn't really an out there isn't really others, there isn't really society. But at the same time, you could say it's a reflection, society is a reflection of what's happened in humanity, this separation that's happened. But that's really irrelevant. It's like this waking up, the dissolving of this, or seeing through this or untruth of separation. And that can only happen here. It can only happen in this moment. Like it can only happen now, here, in this, not in the mind of the world, of out there, of tomorrow. It can only happen here in this timelessness. This is freedom. It's right here. It's free. And ideas of other and world happen here, but they aren't true. This is what's happening is just endless storytelling, time, projection. At the end of this, you is here. This you never happened here. It only happens in time. It only happens in the mental abstraction, the projecting, the imagining. This freedom is right here, and it isn't a person, it isn't someone. It's just free. It's just free. It just is. It has no position. It has no quality. Has no name. Has no color. Has no size. No gender. No nationality. It's just free. It's just everything, but not found as any particular thing. It's just free. It's just free. It doesn't have language. It's just free.
Just one last question. I'll let the other speakers, other people ask as well. You mentioned the word everything.
Yeah.
Freedom is everything. So this feeling of contraction or sadness or strong sense of self, is that also part of freedom?
Of course, yeah. Of course. It can't not. What else could it be? There's only this. It's everything. Of course. Of course. There's nothing separate.
So no matter how I feel, what I'm going through, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. No. It's not ultimately true. It's not true. It's true relatively. Oh, I feel sick today. It's true in that sense, but actually, it's not true. It's not true. It's just this appearance, and then it disappears. It's grasping and holding on to things. That's the habit.
And even that habit is not me doing it. It's just
No,
happening.
it's just happening. It's just happening. Like, who would you be? Who would you be that's doing that? What would that be?
Ah, this is so beautiful. I love it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for having. Sebastian still there. If you're still there, you're free to ask your questions, Sebastian. That was the earlier question. Hi. I don't have anything to say in particular. here and not here? Is there a way to feel one, non-dual, with a sense of mistrust to other people? Oh, is there a way to feel one with a sense of mistrust to other people? Yes. 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 Yeah. Like the mistrust of other people could be like a trauma response or something. Like yeah. Here is the thought that it isn't possible to recognize non-duality when there is a general mistrust to other people, which is due to developmental trauma in the nervous system. I don't know. I don't know. I think there can be a mistrust to other people. I think there can be a mistrust, but I feel like it wouldn't be real. Like it wouldn't be. It could be a habit or a trauma, but I think it wouldn't be real. Like it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be true. It wouldn't be true. It'd be like a habit or a response. But I feel like in this opening, in this revealing of wholeness or oneness, I feel like there would be a loss of you and the other. So there could be this mistrust or this cautiousness, let's say, but in this dropping into or this dropping of that separateness, I feel like it could totally be unity, totally be that openness and that trust, but as what you are, beyond that separate person, that separate story of someone who was mistrusted or who was whatever the trauma is, but it would be you, it would be the same thing, it would be the same, it would be you looking out, looking at you, so there wouldn't be that there wouldn't actually be mistrust, but maybe because it's like a feeling of separation, but maybe by telling it to the other people, then there will be connection. But maybe by telling it to the people. I'm not sure what you mean by it. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. It is separation. It is separation, that sense of like you, that story of you, that pain of you, that trauma of you. It is separation. But I feel like that could still appear, like I feel like it's totally like held and included and okay if the human has trauma, if the human has certain conditions or behaviors. Just telling that their peers mistrust. Yeah. Yeah. I think in my experience, like humans can be very traumatizing, very traumatizing. Yeah, very traumatizing. That brings the connection in or regulates. That brings the connection and regulates the nervous system. Or you mean telling the other person that you have mistrust of them? Yeah. I suppose being honest, like being able to be honest with the other person and communicate that and be yourself and not have to hide parts of yourself, for their comfort or to fit in, be acceptable, then yeah, you can tell someone that and that could then dissolve that sense of mistrust. Yeah. It's like it's really opening, like you really it's really beautiful that you really open like you really open open like the boundaries of where you thought you were, like dissolve more and more, and you're really open and vulnerable, and yeah, you can have that closeness, you can have that um yeah, that closeness, because there isn't that division, and it's all the same. It's all the same. The idea of you and other creates division. The open-hearted telling about what's appearing brings connection is so important. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah. To be able to communicate so openly is yeah, beautiful. It's really beautiful. Where does the impulse for you to hold these meetings come from? Fearless. Fearless. It feels like love as well, like fearless, yeah. And love. Yeah. Feels like love. Where does the impulse come from? Impulse. Sebastian's come back in. I don't know. Don't know where the impulse comes from. Obviously, it's out of nothing, it just comes, but I don't know what else to say other than it comes, it just comes. There's just this joy of this passion, and this joy, but yeah, it's just beautiful. Just yeah, there's nothing else. There's nothing else that yeah, there's nothing else. There's this there's this passion. I have this passion for freedom, like freedom, freedom. Like it's just so beautiful. Freedom. It's just so there's like an echo, a call to it. Freedom. It's just so beautiful. And what's being spoken about is freedom, and it is love. So in the story, I would probably say that there's a passion for freedom and for love. Yeah. Yeah. Where, yeah. Would you still hold these meetings if no humans experience parent separation? These meetings would probably still happen. They're happening already because of that. They're just happening. They're just happening. So you're saying if nobody like showed up, there's no one tuning in or watching, would the meeting still happen? Yes. 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 Like, yeah. It's like it's singing. It's just singing of freedom and love and peace and joy and happiness. It's just singing of that. It's not singing it to anyone. It's not seeing separate people who need to hear this. It's just a singing and expressing of it. It's the joy of it that's happening. The joy and the love of it that's happening. It's not for a purpose. Joy for, love for. It's just that. The joy and love of it. So I can imagine, yeah, it would still happen the way it happens. The expressing and the celebration of this freedom, of this life happening. It's not for someone. This isn't happening for someone. None of it is. None of life is happening for someone. It's happening. What can you say? Okay. What can you say about crime from a non-duality perspective? Crime. Well, Well, we have these laws, these human laws, about how we should behave in society with each other. And so crime is when you break those laws, you do the action or the behavior that's classed as a crime against someone else or against property or something. From a non-duality perspective. From a non-duality perspective, I don't know. Crime happens. Crime happens. And we then trial the person and they go to prison or not, or the community service or not. There's a consequence. I don't like the prison system that we currently have. But it's really cruel and really heartless and really yeah, not a good system that we have. Yeah. I am the one. Had two at the same time then. Just gonna go to Zoom, the preference as the priority, sorry. You're giving this meeting to yourself. Yeah, you could say it like that, but that's yeah, you could say it like that. Yeah, you could say it like that. But that's not true either, like that's not true either as well. But yeah, you can say it like that. But there isn't someone giving the meeting. There isn't someone receiving the meeting, giving the meeting. Yeah. 700 years ago, burnt, we would have burnt as witches for this thinking. Yeah, yeah. Heresy, is it? Yeah, definitely. And now this is spoken so freely, like on the internet. Yeah. Meeting halls around the globe. Yeah. We are moving through energy. Okay, so yeah, it's been lovely. Thank you for the questions on the chat and on Zoom.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. So yeah, there's no meeting next week. Having a week off, so I shall see you in 2 weeks. Have a lovely break, holiday, whatever you're doing. Okay.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.